In these unprecedented times, the world of fashion is grappling with a key question. Large gatherings are still banned and the need for social distancing remains. So what future for the traditional catwalk? With actresses and influencers no longer travelling, communication strategies are having to adapt. For Dior's 2021 cruise collection, the label rose to the challenge by putting on an impressive show in the heart of the Italian city of Lecce, in the region of Puglia. The main difference, no A-list guests in the front row, or anywhere for that matter.
It's a project rooted in my origins, but it's also a project that I developed at a very particular moment in our lives, all of our lives. We're a truly global business, and that means that a lot of people depend on the work we do. It was extremely important for me to get people to realize the value of craftsmanship and artistry of this region of Italy. I wanted to show how important it is that the younger generations don't lose that they choose to invest in it.
Take, for example, a technique called tombolo, a bobbin lace which can be traced back to the 15th century. It's meticulous work, all done by hand. This flower alone took more than 15 hours to create.
Here in the countryside, along with a few of my workers, we decided to set up a school to teach the art of bobbin lace. I hated using the other method where you achieve a similar effect, using impressions made with perforated card. I prefer using the bobbins. It's part of our region's cultural heritage.
This one here is the smaller rose. It's made up of these leaves that I'm in the process of creating. There's also a three-dimensional element, which I'm applying from the underside. Nature gives us so much, and then on top of that there's the art of Salento, the different churches and monuments that often inspire us in our creations.
The region's textile industry, meanwhile, hums along at a markedly faster pace. This fabric workshop belongs to the Constantine Foundation, created in 1982 to teach traditional artisanal techniques.
Those working for the foundation receive a salary that's significantly higher than they'd find elsewhere. The name of this workshop is Loving and Singing. It was chosen by our founder, Giulia Saracchi. I think you need to choose a magical place to live in, and that's exactly what I've done. And all of us here have done the same. This is a place that tells the gifts of the past and the present. And it also looks towards the future and all the women who are going to benefit from it.
A runway show is nothing without its mise en scène. These designs and slogans are the work of Italian feminist artist Marinella Senatore, with a little help from the Fratelli Lighting Company, who specialize in religious festivals.
I feel honored, because I feel like we achieved this working side by side. Christian Dior was able to dress all types of women, and we have that same passion when we decorate village squares for festivals. I've always said that we are the couturiers of this country's festivals.
As for the collection itself, Maria Grazia Curie found inspiration in Italian artist and architecture graduate Pietro Ruffo, who's principally concerned with ideas of nature and freedom.
The plans for the 2021 cruise collection were developed around a number of themes, all rooted in the region of Puglia. At the heart of it all was this idea of an abundance of flowers, a field of flowers. I drew lots of different flowers and then brought them all together to create a large composition, which really gave the impression of a colourful field full of little insects, dragonflies and butterflies. There were even some spiders, little tarantulas that you'd find in the middle of the field.
Spiders are also the inspiration for the traditional tarantula dance, and its even more frenzied iteration, la pizzica. Inspired by the maddening effects of tarantula poison, it's as much a ritual as a dance, and formed the musical and kinetic centerpiece of the show.
At the heart of these 20 minutes of narrative progression, the aim was to use music to express both despair and the desire to escape that oppression. That cry of sadness, which is really what it is, gradually starts to become something freeing until it eventually becomes a cry of joy.
Cruise collections emerged in the 1920s to serve a clientele that spent their winters in warmer climes, and these days the collections can be found in boutiques all year long. Their commercial importance is hard to overstate.
Despite all odds, against all odds, we are here tonight, and we are very proud of the result of this collection. And I said tonight there was a huge emotion in this square, and this is the same emotion that we hope will arrive in the home of the customer that in a big number watch tonight the show live, and the same emotion that we hope that we'll find back in our product in the store in November.
In these trying times, luxury groups are having to prove their resilience. Embracing and championing traditional artistry might just help them weather the worst of the storm.